Greetings, Galactic Jedis, freedom fighters, and patriots. Welcome to another live stream. I am excited about tonight's live stream. There are so many mysteries and secrets relating to Greenland, and we're going to go deep into that once again. But before I do, I want to welcome everyone who is in the house. I realize I'm wearing glasses, and I have glasses on me, so many glasses. So I want to welcome everyone that is here. I also want to welcome everyone that watches this on the replay. Deep gratitude to all of you guys. I also want to extend gratitude to the moderators for keeping the vibe clean in the chat. Thank you guys so much. And I also wanted to remind you guys that my Conscious Live presentation via Zoom is still up for grab, and there is a limit to only about 200 people. So once we reach 200 people, that's going to be it. Only 200 people. That's so far as many as I could fit in the Zoom for this coming February, when I, of course, break down a new cosmic presentation regarding the human project and, of course, how to activate our superhuman abilities. Now, I am thrilled about what's ahead of us. We are living in the most exciting times ever, guys, in the history of our Earth, and for multiple reasons. Now, before I dive in, I do want to remind you guys that I only have a couple of spots left for Ascension Basics and Ascension 2.0, which begin tomorrow, Sunday. So hopefully some of you guys will have an opportunity to sign up for only $100, so I could see you guys tomorrow on an interactive webinar. And I was honored and thrilled to meet some of the Galactic Jedis today in Ascension 3.0 and, of course, our cosmic origin. It was a blast getting to know some of you guys. It is always an honor to hear your story, your background, your initial awakening, because we all have a lot in common. And so it is a great honor and pleasure to meet a lot of the new Galactic Jedis, and I can't wait to meet some of you guys tomorrow for either Ascension Basics or 2.0. Make sure you guys go to my website and grab your seats before they are sold out, so I can see you guys tomorrow. All right, with no further said, I think I am ready to go. We're going to get right into it. So this is really fascinating, guys. This is a transmission titled The Northgate Reclaim, Earth Alliance, Inner Earth, and, of course, the first bridge of contact. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, with the recuperation of the North Gate now underway by the Earth Alliance, it has been initiated. They have initiated what is known as the first phase of engagement with the Inner Earth Advanced Civilization, marking the beginning of a carefully governed bridge between the surface world and the civilizations that have long existed beneath the Earth, the other continents. So the decision follows a cosmic protocol. Before humanity even re-enters this wider interstellar community, it must first reunite with its closest relatives. So the North Gate is the anchored through Greenland, which is anchored through Greenland, functions as a planetary interface zone, not as a conventional portal. It actually regulates phase shift axis between surface density and the inner Earth strata, where frequency, light ratios, and even biological conditions differ markedly from the surface environment. And of course, we all know that for thousands of years, this gate was restricted to prevent exploitation, contamination, and even forced integration. And that is the reason why the Nazis were denied. The Nazis were trying to access the North Gate, if you recall. So its recent recovery by the Earth Alliance, congratulations to Donald J. Trump for reaching an agreement in the annexing of Greenland. In this recent recovery by the Earth Alliance, it signals a shift from containment to cooperation with the inner Earth civilizations, which is what we call the other continents. Okay, so the gate is not being opened in a dramatic sense, first of all. It is being recalibrated to allow a safe, lawful interaction with the inner Earth civilizations. So according to galactic councils, they have determined that the first contact would actually begin with inner Earth civilization, not the off-world star nations. That is going to follow after that. And there is a reason why galactic Jedis. The reasoning is both biological and psychological. It turns out that the inner Earth societies are remnants of earlier galactic human civilizations that apparently descended from the surface world, right? I've talked about how there's been multiple breakaway groups for the last millions of years. They descended from the surface world and withdrew inward during prior planetary cataclysms and dark cycles. Well, genetically, they are our closest, you could say they are closer to the modern humans than most off-world specimens. Culturally, they do preserve memory of the Earth's original stewardship codes, unbroken by long ages of surface conflict. So this proximity makes the inner Earth contact a bridge, a reunification. I'm sorry, guys. I've had a long day today. A reunification rather than an introduction, okay? So inner Earth civilizations are not primitive survivors either. They are advanced societies operating in harmonic equilibrium with this planet. Their technologies are biological, crystalline, and even consciousness responsive. So governance is not coercive, it is guided by coherence rather than hierarchy. So from a galactic standpoint, it's getting hot in here. Let me turn on my fan. From a galactic standpoint, these civilizations have served as Earth's continuity archive, living proof that humanity can evolve technologically without severing itself from planetary intelligence. And so they have remained hidden, not out of fear, but out of ethical restraint, waiting for the surface world to reach a minimum threshold of stability. And that is what's happening now, guys, okay? The Earth Alliance current mission is not a mass revelation also, but preparation, rather initial steps that will include frequency, synchronization between surface and inner Earth grids, as well as cultural and biological compatibility assessments, joint stewardship councils to ensure non-dominance integration, and most importantly, surface liaison training for metahuman intermediaries. Now, what are metahumans? Well, metahumans is one of many terminologies to describe the next phase of human evolution, right? Galactic humans, Homo nauticus, different terminologies to describe superhumans. So, with this in mind, only small, carefully vetted exchanges will occur in the early phase of this reconnection with the inner Earth civilizations. And so the objective is trust the building, not spectacle. The reconnection with inner Earth represents a timeline reconciliation where surface humanity has long carried a sense of loss, of exile from something ancient and familiar. Inner Earth contact restores continuity, reminding humanity that it is not broken, abandoned, or even failed, only temporarily fragmented. I'm trying to use my telekinesis to turn off the heater. It's so hot in here. Thank you. I appreciate this. This reunion stabilizes the ascension process by anchoring it in human lineage, not abstraction. And so, unlike off-world contact, inner Earth engagement does not challenge humanity's identity, when in fact it confirms it. The beings encountered will not appear alien, but recognizable. They will be slightly taller, longer lived, of course, and more coherent, yet unmistakably still looking human. So this familiarity is intentional. It will allow the surface population to acclimate to advanced civilizations without fear, preparing consciousness for a broader galactic interaction later. So this recuperation of the North Gate marks the end of isolation and the beginning of reunion by choosing the inner Earth civilization as humanity's first point of contact. The inner Earth honors cosmic law, psychological readiness, and of course, biological continuity. And so, even before humanity meets the star nations or our brethren from the star nations, it must first meet itself in a form that remembers what Earth was once and what is becoming again. So, the bridge is now forming, the gate is stabilizing, and the long separation between surface society, tier one population, and inner Earth is finally giving way to a reunification. Okay, so that is going to be what the Galactics have decided in terms of establishing first contact. It'll first be with the inner Earth civilizations, and then it'll be with other star nations. So this next part of the report comes from the Jupiter command. Source Jupiter command, communicate through Commander Valiant Thor. The status of this report is declassified for consciousness readiness. Okay, so Greenland. This is regarding Greenland as well. Far from being a frozen expanse or a geopolitical bargaining chip, Greenland is identified as a multidimensional gate and a primary timeline anchor within the Earth's ascension field. This distinction moves the conversation beyond resources, beyond borders and military logistics, and deep into the architecture of what is known as planetary transitions. So according to this report, my friends, Greenland occupies a rare energetic convergence zone where the auroral corridors, the magnetic peaks, and even high-frequency operations begin to intersect. This polar dynamics do more than paint the sky with light. They actually function as regulators of planetary coherence. So in times like this of accelerated solar activity and consciousness expansion, each junctions act as stabilizers, holding the Earth's timelines in phase while higher frequencies begin to integrate. Therefore, from this view, Greenland is not peripheral, but it's not peripheral to human evolution. It is central to it. So the Jupiter command has confirmed that a Federation presence beneath the ice has been stationed there for quite some time for multiple reasons, carefully described as neither occupation nor intervention. Its role is to stabilize and contain until now. This presence exists to safeguard Earth's transition by preventing the misuse of dormant technologies and by maintaining energetic balances across the polar grid. So operating through layered, non-invasive fields, this guardianship has remained invisible to conventional detection while remaining fully interactive with the Earth's consciousness networks. The intent is protection without interference, sovereignty preserved, and progression secured. At the heart of this stabilization zone lies Greenland's status as a threshold point where ancient corridors and vaults begin to intersect. One particular significance is the reference to a buried ark-class craft, an intact mothership preserved across cycles, known as what? The Hypoborean mothership, right? Concealed beneath the eyes and protected by sophisticated phase shift fields. This transmission emphasizes that this vessel is not a weapon nor a symbol of imminent rescue. It actually functions as an archive, a contingency node, and a frequency regulator. Its activation, locked behind ethical and collective readiness thresholds rather than technological triggers, could only answer to DNA resonance. So this is the reason why it cannot be weaponized or militarized. It could only be activated through DNA resonance, okay? So the Jupiter command also dispels expectations of sudden dramatic disclosure. Therefore, open contact is not an event imposed from above, but a state achieved also from within. Human readiness, emotional coherence, and collective frequency must always be in alignment in order to present as a true in order to present as true gatekeepers. So therefore, fear, division, and even reactionary consciousness could distort the timeline. That's why it's important to stay positive. It's important to stay calm. It's important to have discernment, and most importantly, to be heart-centered, because when we are in that state, we become stabilizers as well. Okay, this is referring to us, the ground crew. So disclosure, therefore, is going to unfold gradually, synchronized with humanity's ability to meet the higher truths without fragmentation. And so, seen through this lens, Greenland becomes a luminous hinge in Earth's multi-layered reality, a place where hidden infrastructure meets cosmic law. It is a reminder that the ascension process is not about conquest or revelation through force, but about alignment. So, what this means is that the future opens not when humanity discovers what lies beneath the eyes, but when it becomes capable of stewardship through wisdom and knowledge. So, in the end, Greenland stands as both a physical landmass as much as a metaphysical mirror. What awakens there will awaken only as humanity itself does through what? Patience, balance, and of course, quiet inner mastery, which is through meditation, we reach coherence. All right, this next part of the transmission also comes from the Jupiter command delivered by Commander Valiant Thor. And this is very exciting. I do want to welcome all 2,100 people that are in the house. Thank you guys so much for being here. My computer is acting funky, but here we go. I just fixed it. All right, so let's continue here. All right, so Commander Valiant Thor refrains one of the most misunderstood planetary developments of our era right now, the apparent weakening of the Earth's magnetic field, which is the reason why this current reality construct is coming to an end very, very soon. So rather than signaling collapse or danger, the message presents magnetic decline as a design transition mechanism, an essential stage in the Earth's movement from a dense, restrictive operating system into a living, conscious planetary state. And so, from this perspective, the magnetosphere is not failing, it is actually changing its function. All right, even the Earth is going through a mutation, not just us. So, according to this transmission, Earth's magnetic field has historically acted as both a shield and a containment layer. While it protected the biosphere, it also maintained a rigid separation between timelines, densities, and consciousness bandwidths. As the field begins to weaken, and it's been weakening, it becomes asymmetrical. These containment layers begin to loosen. So this softening allows previously suppressed planetary memory, higher frequency currents, as well as multidimensional harmonics to re-enter into Earth's operating field. The decline is therefore not destructive. It is what is known as permissive. It creates flexibility in the planetary lattice, enabling the Earth to adapt to incoming stellar energies without catastrophic disruption. So the weakening of the electromagnetic field is what makes ascension possible without a planetary reset. Now, the polar grid is also known as the master switch in this activation of the planet's energetic living field. According to the Jupiter command, they identify the poles as the master regulators of the Earth's energetic architecture, both the north and the south. As the magnetic field declines, activations begin to shift from the equatorial dominance of the old grid to a polar-led system. This process, referred to as a polar grid activation, unfolds in coordinated stages. The northern ignition is anchored through Greenland, where auroral corridors, geomagnetic anomalies, and stellar inflows begin to converge. Greenland, therefore, functions as a tuning fork for the planet, stabilizing the incoming frequencies before they even cascade southward. The southern pole mirrors this process through Antarctica, forming a bipolar resonance that locks the system into coherence. Once synchronized, the polar currents braid through the equatorial regions, reactivating dormant ley lines and reconnecting fractured nodes. The grid ceases to behave like a mechanical infrastructure and begins to respond as a living system. This is what they call the awakening of the living natural grid. So, with the polar grid activation underway now, thank God, Earth's energetic network transitions into what the Jupiter command calls the living natural grid. This grid is not artificial, it's not fixed or even weaponizable. It is an organic, sentient, and responsive consciousness field connecting all living things. The living grid interacts directly with consciousness, coherent emotional states, particularly if you are calm, compassionate. Neutrality begins to strengthen it and stabilize it, while fear-based resonance weakens these local coherences. And unlike previous grid systems that were imposed through artificial overlays, this natural grid self-corrects itself, redistributes its energy intelligently, and cannot be controlled through force. Therefore, humanity is no longer just inhabiting the grid, okay? It is participating in it. Now, this leads to the 12 gates. A lot of people have been asking me, where are the 12 major stargates? Well, here it is, guys. The 12 major stargates is what's going to allow the Earth to shift reality into the higher harmonic Earths, right? Or what we call ascension. The culmination of this process is the activation of what is known as the 12 gates. And these are not just physical portals, guys. These are frequency thresholds that are embedded within the living grid. In fact, each gate represents a level of integration between body, mind, soul, and planetary consciousness. So as the polar grid powers the system, the gates activate sequentially, responding not to technology or authority, but to resonance. The lower gates stabilize the nervous system and physical forms of the planet. The intermediate gates clear emotional density and restore soul memory back to the collective. The higher gates allow multidimensional awareness and consciousness timeline selection. And so it is crucial, according to the Jupiter command, they emphasize that no gate can be forced. The grid responds only to readiness. Thank you so much for the super chat. I will get to the super chats and Q&A as soon as I am done with this presentation. So again, the grid responds only to readiness. New Earth as a phase shift. Now, ascension in this framework, guys, is not an escape either from Earth, but a phase migration within the real Earth, the original Earth. The new Earth, or what as they refer to as the original Earth, exists as a higher coherence expression of the same planet, accessible through alignment rather than relocation. Those who resonate with the living grid naturally face into this expression, experiencing heightened clarity, reduced dependence on collapsing systems, and a deeper connection to planetary intelligence. Those not yet ready are neither punished nor abandoned. They remain supported within a parallel Earth expression, continuing their evolutionary process at a pace more aligned with their own sovereignty. So the declining magnetic field is not a warning, it is an invitation. The polar grid activation is not a catastrophe, neither. It is a recalibration. And the awakening of the living natural grid is not imposed from above either, but activated from within. So the Jupiter command is making it super clear right now that the Earth's transition is not governed by cosmic law and collective readiness, not by fear or force. No, I'm sorry. Let me repeat that again. That the Earth's transition is governed by cosmic law. It is governed by cosmic law and collective readiness, not fear and force. The grid is alive. The gates are opening, and the ascension belongs to those that are not the elites, but to those who choose coherence, calm, and conscious participation in the next phase of the planet's expression. So let's go over the 12 major gates. We're going to go over the location of each gate, the function, and what it means in terms of the planetary mechanics of the ascension of the Earth. So, from a galactic perspective, guys, from a galactic perspective, Earth is not an isolated world, but a living node within a vaster network of inhabited systems. So, to interface safely with these higher density civilizations, which, by the way, already exist all around us, occupying the same space but in a different vibration or dimension, Earth was engineered originally with a 12-gate planetary architecture, which is a frequency-based system that regulates consciousness flow, timeline stability, and biological viability. These gates are not portals in the cinematic sense. They are planetary resonance chambers that are embedded in the living grid, each with a specific location, bandwidth, and function. So together, the 12 gates form the Earth's ascension circuit. The Earth's ascension circuit. Gate 1, also known as the root gate, is the planetary stabilization gate located in Antarctica. Its function, gravitational anchoring and planetary balance. From the galactic view, Antarctica is the Earth's mass regulator. Gate 1 stabilizes rotational integrity and anchors the Earth into its orbital lane. It governs survival coding, mineral intelligence, and the continuity of physical life or physical reality. When active, it ensures that ascension does not stabilize tectonics or biospheric rhythms, which leads to cataclysms. Okay. Gate 2. Gate 2 is known as the water gate. It holds biological memory, and its location, it's Lake Titicaca, region Andes. Its function is DNA fluidity and ancestral memory release. This gate governs water consciousness and the emotional body of the planet. Galactic records identify it as the interface between biological evolution and emotional intelligence. Activation of this gate restores genetic memory that has long been suppressed during long dark cycles. Gate 3 is known as the will gate, representing human sovereignty. Location, Uluru, Australia. Gate 3. Its function, individual power and species self-determination. Gate 3 stabilizes free will. It ensures that ascension remains a choice, not a mandate. So, from a galactic standpoint, this gate prevents hive mind domination and safeguards the Earth's sovereign evolutionary path. Gate 4 is known as the heart gate, planetary coherence. Location, Glastonbury, Stonehenge complex. Function, emotional coherence and collective empathy. This gate, the heart gate, gate 4 in Glastonbury, synchronizes human heart fields with the living grid. Galactic civilizations consider it the qualification gate because without heart coherence, the higher gates cannot safely activate. Gate 5, the sound gate, communication fields located in Giza, Great Pyramid. Its function, the harmonic transmission and interspecies translation gate. Originally a tuning structure, this gate converts thought, sound, and light into coherent signals. So, from a galactic perspective, this gate, number 5 in Giza, it enables nonverbal communication between civilizations through frequency rather than language. Gate 6, known as the Vision Gate, it is the gate known as the temporal perception gate as well. Location, Mount Sinai region. Function, expanded perception and timeline awareness. Gate 6. Gate 6 governs prophetic sight. It also governs time compression and non-linear awareness. It allows consciousness to perceive probability fields without becoming destabilized by them. Gate 7, known as the Soul Gate, multidimensional identity. Location, Mount Kailash, Himalayas. Function, oversoul integration. From the galactic viewpoint, this gate reconnects incarnated beings with their higher selves. It is the bridge between localized identity and cosmic lineage. Gate number 8. Wait, am I in gate 8? Yes, gate 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so the next gate is 8, known as the Stellar Gate, Off-World Interface Gate. Location, Hawaiian Islands. Function, Star Nation harmonization and stellar data exchange. Gate 8 regulates safe interaction with non-terrestrial civilizations. It ensures contact occurs through resonance alignment, not technological intrusion. Gate 9 is known as the Galactic Memory Gate. Location, the Andes, the Amazon crossover. Its function, recovery of galactic history and Earth's true origin. This gate unlocks Earth's erased cosmic archives. And again, one of the biggest storehouses of these cosmic archives is located in Greenland, right? The Ether Vault. I've already talked about the Ether Vault. From a galactic standpoint, this gate restores planetary amnesia and introduces Earth into interstellar councils as a remembering world. Then comes Gate 10, the Source Gate, Ascension Completion Gate. And you guys all know where Gate 10 is located, right? In Iran, the Abaddon Gate, Gate 10. It's interesting how they call this the Source Gate, the Ascension Completion Gate. Wow, this is fascinating. So its function is full unity consciousness. Again, this is located in Iran, and Gate 10 is not tied to geography. It actually activates when the previous 11 gates begin, or I'm sorry, when the previous 9 gates begin to achieve coherence. So from a galactic perspective, it marks the Earth's graduation from a quarantine world to a self-governing, conscious civilization world. Then comes Gate 11, known as the Universal Gate. This gate is located in the Pacific Ring convergence. Its function, universal law integration. This gate aligns Earth with universal principles such as balance, non-interference, and harmonic evolution. It prevents ascension paths that violate cosmic law. And then we have Gate 12, the Solar Gate. The Solar Gate is located in Greenland. Its function, solar planetary frequency modulator. Gate 12, which is located in Greenland as a solar planetary frequency modulator, regulates solar codes that are entering the Earth in preparation for her ascension. It's almost here. I could almost taste it. It filters photonic input so that biological systems can adapt without overload. Therefore, Greenland has served as a frequency transformer, not as a power source, And the 12 gates overall are not waiting to be discovered, my friends. They are waiting to be matched through frequency. So the new technology here is frequency based consciousness. Okay. Technology cannot open those gates. Okay. The Galactics want me to stress this. Technology cannot open those gates. Authority cannot command those gates because all of those gates respond only to resonance. To resonance. There is more. From the galactic perspective, guys, due to the securing and of course activation of these gates as we are receiving more solar flares, that's what's going to be happening pretty soon, causing the convergence, right? So from a galactic perspective, the Earth's ascension is not an invasion nor a rescue or an event. It is a handover of responsibility from imposed systems to a living coherence, from survival consciousness to planetary maturity. The gates are awakening, my friends, because the planet is ready. Humanity's role is simply to decide whether it is going to ascend with the new Earth or not. The choice is ours. So there is more, okay? There is more to this. From a galactic perspective, guys, humanity was never designed to remain a purely biological species. The human form is a hybrid interface, part physical organism, part energetic receiver, engineered to respond to stellar import and planetary harmonics. The ancient chakra systems and the planetary 12 gates, which I mentioned already, are not separate systems either. They are mirrors of the same ascension architecture, one internal and one planetary. As solar activity continues to intensify, these two systems are synchronizing, initiating the first wave of activated meta-humans. The chakra gate corresponds to the 12 gates of Earth's that correspond directly to the 12 primary human energy centers. 7 classical chakras located within our body, and 5 higher non-physical chakras located outside of our body. But the truth of the matter is that we have 3 other chakras. We have a total of 15 chakras. The other 3 are existing in eternal spheres, realities that are beyond the 12-dimensional time matrix, which I explain in my Ascension 3.0 class. Therefore, together, they form a vertical ascension circuit linking the human nervous system to the living planetary grid. The lower gates align with the physical and emotional chakras, stabilizing the body so that it can withstand the higher frequencies. The middle gates open the heart and voice as coherence regulators. The higher gates activate dormant neurological and energetic pathways associated with multidimensional perception and oversoul integration. This design ensures that planetary ascension could only occur through embodied consciousness, not escape from matter, right? We're not leaving the earth. We are bridging the earth with higher realities. So therefore, the solar flares that are coming in are the activating codes, okay? Solar flares are also not random eruptions, okay? From a galactic standpoint, they are coded photonic transmissions, carrying information as much as energy. So when these flares reach the Earth, they interact first with the planetary magnetics, and then they interact with the human biofield. As the magnetic field softens, well, at least the current one, solar codes penetrate deeper into the atmosphere and into the human nervous system, therefore activating the chakras, which is what the Bible calls the 7 seals, the 7 lamps, the 7 churches. Okay, each chakra responds differently. For instance, the lower chakras experience detoxification, grounding, recalibration, and survival code collapse. The heart chakra experiences expansion, emotional clearing, and coherence amplification. The upper chakras receive light language data, geometric codes, and non-linear awareness. The discomfort that many experience right now, like fatigue, pressure in the head, emotional surfacing, is not pathological. It is a reconfiguration. That's what's happening to us right now as we are ascending. Okay. So, gate by gate, the humans are being activated as I speak. When solar flares strike our planet, those gates that I mentioned earlier begin to awaken. And that corresponds to the activation of the human chakras as personal gates also begin to align. Each activation occurs sequentially, beginning with the root and sacral centers, synchronizing with the Earth's foundational gates, stabilizing the physical vessel. That's what grounds us into physicality. Then the solar plexus begins to dissolve the fear-based identity, restoring sovereign will back to our consciousness. Then the heart locks human emotion into planetary coherence. The throat and third eye chakra begin to activate non-linear communication and perception. The crown and higher chakras reconnect the individual to their oversoul and stellar lineage. Those whose nervous systems can hold coherence through this process will move naturally into these higher functioning states, therefore beginning the first emergence of meta-humans. The term metahuman does not imply superpowers in a fictional sense. It describes a biological upgrading human operating on a higher bandwidth of awareness and integration. Metahumans will inhibit heightened intuition, pattern recognition, reduced emotional reactivity and fear response, increased empathy coupled with strong sovereignty, natural alignment with truth and non-manipulative systems, direct resonance with planetary and solar rhythms. These individuals do not separate from society, they begin to stabilize it. They are going to act as living nodes, anchoring higher frequencies into everyday life. The first wave, according to the Jupiter command, describes the current period that we are now in. These individuals are going to be those whose chakras and nervous systems are sufficiently coherent enough to begin to integrate to the solar codes without collapse. That's why it's important to rid your body from all living metals, parasites, and radiation. Okay. These are not chosen by authority or lineage. Okay. They are self-select through inner alignment. Those that have done the inner work, you will be the first to activate. Your role is not through dominance, but it is related to leadership through resonance. Okay. Simply by remaining calm, present, and heart-centered, you will be able to entrain others into stability. Also, ascension as a biological event is often misunderstood as a spiritual escape, okay? From a galactic perspective, guys, it is a biological upgrade event guided by solar input, planetary gates, and human choice. The chakras are the interface. The sun is the transmitter. Earth is the amplifier. The 12 gates ensure that this transformation unfolds safely, gradually, and without planetary trauma. So humanity is not waiting to be rescued. It is undergoing activation. As solar flares continue, and they will continue, to deliver encoded light and the planetary gates begin to awaken once again, the human chakra systems responds exactly as designed. The rise of the metahuman, Homo luminous, marks not the end of humanity, but its maturation into a species capable of holding power without domination, knowledge without control, and most importantly, unity without the loss of the self. So the gates are now opening, my friends. The sun is speaking. The human body is remembering what it was built to become. And so, therefore, this is the time to be excited about, okay? Now, part of this presentation, it also goes into connecting everything that's happening right now on Earth with the continued presence of 3i Atlas. All right. So, this is the fulfillment of prophecy, my friends. I do want to welcome all 2,800 folks that are in the house. All right. So, from a galactic perspective, what's happening right now, it's not a single activation alone. Okay. It is a collective activation. The recuperation of the North Gate, Greenland, the awakening of the 12 gates, which I've already mentioned, the solar driven chakra activations, which is what the Bible symbolically calls the seven temples, the seven lamps, the seven chakras, and the reconnection with the inner earth civilizations are all components of a larger orchestration, my friends, one known in cosmic archives as the three eye atlas cycle. I haven't said that word in a long time. 3i Atlas is not just an object or an event either, okay? It is a stellar marker, a moving intelligence signature that signals and only comes into our vicinity when a planet has entered a rare convergence window, which is what's happening right now, where stellar, solar, and planetary cycles align to allow a full restoration rather than collapse. So therefore, Earth has now entered that window. And yes, my friends, 3i Atlas is still around. It is still in our solar system. Told you guys it was going to be here for quite some time. In galactic terms, the restoration is always governed by timing, not by force. 3i Atlas has functioned as a cosmic cosmic switch, confirming that the Earth's internal readiness has synchronized with external stellar conditions. So as Earth moves through this cycle that we are all now undergoing, the sun enters its most heightened output phase. The planetary magnetic field relaxes into a new adaptability. The polar grids unlock dormant command pathways. The inner and outer planetary societies, we're talking about the inner Earth civilizations, the other continents, are cleared for reconnection once again with the surface world. Ancient civilizations encoded this cycle into prophetic, into myth, and monumental, you could say, stories, not as superstition, but as future memory. Okay. So, unlike linear events, guys, restoration unfolds as a spiral. Okay. Everything is working as a circle within a circle within a circle. Each pass through heightened solar activity activates deeper layers of the Earth's living grid. Solar flares carry photonic codes that interact with the 12 gates, while the Earth's softened magnetics allow those codes to reach the biosphere without triggering extinction level stress. So at the same time, inner Earth civilizations amplify those frequencies from within, creating a bi-directional activation involving stellar light from above as well as planetary intelligence from below. The surface world is going to become the meeting point, okay? And so this is all prophecy, guys. This is all prophecy, okay? Across every culture, whether spoken as golden ages, the New Jerusalems, the Satya Yugas, or even the Emerald worlds, they all speak about the same thing, okay, which is Earth being restored once again. Galactic records have confirmed these prophetics were seeded during earlier human epochs by advanced human and stellar civilizations who understood that the Earth would one day descend into fragmentation and then later rise again through coherence and integration rather than conquest. And so 3i Atlas's return, once again, after 6 other cycles, marks that moment event, okay? Marks that event right now. Human sovereignty is about to be restored. All the artificial control systems are losing their dominance and grip as I speak. The living planetary intelligence is reasserting itself once again. And so, therefore, this is not the end of history as we know it. It is the correction of a trajectory. Okay. It is the restoration. Therefore, the first wave of metahumans activated through the solar chakra resonance are not anomalies either. They are the bridge beings capable of operating simultaneously within surface society, the living grid, and inner earth interfaces. So during this 3i Atlas cycle, these individuals are stabilizing the transition by holding coherent nervous system during solar surges, translating higher frequencies insight into practical action, acting as liaisons between surface humanity and inner earth cultures. And so they are not leaders by decree, but anchors by resonance, okay? The ultimate purpose of 3i Atlas cycle is the reunification, the reunification of the Earth's fractured realms, as they call it, which means surface humanity reconnects back to the inner Earth civilizations. Humanity reconnects with its galactic lineage. Okay, these are the steps. Earth reconnects to its original stewardship role as the most sacred planet in the multiverse. And this is why first contact must first begin with the inner Earth society. And only a planet at peace, which is what the White Hats are trying to do, bring about peace through Trump's, peace deal right now, right? Only when a world is once established within peace, only then can we become, once again, reunited with the inner earth and the star nations, okay? So the restoration does not mean a return to the past. It means integration of everything learned through separation, struggle, and even survival. And Earth, therefore, is emerging not as a controlled world, but as a self-aware civilization planet, a living library, a crossroads, and a beacon. Galactic law recognizes that such worlds as sovereign contributors, not managed assets. 3i Atlas has confirmed that the Earth is once again eligible. The North Gate's recovery in Greenland, the activation of the 12 gates, the awakening of the human chakra systems, the emergence of metahumans, Homo luminous, the reconnection back to the inner earth are not isolated developments. They are synchronized movements within the 3i Atlas restoration cycle, a cycle foretold because it was always inevitable. Okay, Earth was never meant to be lost. It was meant to be tested, tempered, and restored ultimately. The stellar clocks are aligned. The planet is responding, and humanity is standing once again at the threshold of remembering not only who it is, but why the Earth matters to the cosmos at large. Wow. What a beautiful transmission. I hope you guys watch this again. There was so much information revealed in this transmission. I hope you guys are having a fantastic, beautiful evening. Today is Saturday, the 24th, 2026. And yes, my friends, we are still on a positive timeline trajectory. I see a lot of thank you. You guys are so welcome. I would like to give some shout outs before I answer Q&A. Noemi Garcia 1111 is in the house. Delia Lee Star 36 John is in the house. What's up, John? Chris is in the house. What's up, Chris? Melissa Harper Jedi is in the house. Pam is in the house. William Marine, Sarah, MJF, Starlight, Lucy, Scott Lewis, Donna, Sandy Kuzma, Diane 77 Unicorn, and all 2,800 people that are in the house. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Thank you for all the love and all the hearts. You guys are amazing. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now it is about that time to answer some questions. Please type your questions in capital letters. I would like to thank Susan K for her donation. Thank you so much, Susan K. You guys are very much welcome. Welcome, welcome. Wow. $100 super chat. That's incredible. Thank you. This is from Androgis. Would you happen to know if or when the world trees might come back? The world trees? This has been on my mind for the last few weeks, hoping you might have some info. World trees, are you talking about like 90% of our nature that we cut down due to agriculture and industry? Well, in the new earth, they were never cut down. So basically, when we shift into the new earth, all of our naturalism, all of our trees, all of our nature will be right there existing. And as mentioned in my our cosmic origin class, because we are going to be an advanced civilization, most of our cities are going to be floating up in the clouds. So therefore, nature is going to remain nature. No more roads on the ground, no more tampering with Mother Earth, where it's just everything's going to be fully intact. Good question. All right. Another super chat from Noel. Noel 6167. Thank you so much, sister, for your super chat. No question. Okay, fair enough. Do the ley lines coincide with the natural grid system? This is a question from Rachel J77. And the answer to that is absolutely. Absolutely. Gates and chakras relations. Yes. We have 12. Well, technically, we have 15 chakras. Okay. But yeah, originally we had 12 and they connect to the 12 stargates. I do have another super chat from Susan. Thanks so much, Susan. Thanks for your updates. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you guys for being here. Is Galactic Alliance Federation? Well, it's the Restored Universal Federation as of maybe 3 months ago. Prior to that, no, Galactic Alliance splintered off from the corrupt Federation, as mentioned last 2 years, 3 years ago. Roy's Toys and Comics says that's biblical revelation. Yeah, pretty much. I couldn't say it better myself, my friend. So with the synchronized gates, are we going to ascend at once? No, it's going to happen in three waves of ascension. Can I post my recent interview with Charlie Ward? I'm not allowed to. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to. That's his show, and he had me as a guest, so I can't really take that and put it on my channel. What frequency is the best to listen to raise our frequency? Good question from Barb Holly. I would say anything above 540 hertz. It's good. Oh, well, this is interesting to state, and I'm going to share it with the rest of you. Everything he's saying, I've been experiencing through my dreams. I mean, to the point where I'm having prophetic dreams, downloads for the past 3 days, incredibly powerful. It's leaving me without words. This is from the 3S, 6, and 9 Stony Correct. What an interesting YouTube name. I understand that this insane ringing in my ear is a symptom of the ascension. Yes, that is correct. What is the purpose, pattern, recognition, and intelligence of the charts, yet cognition recalls its difficulty? I don't understand that part of your question. I'm sorry. But yeah, definitely ringing in the ears is a symptom that you are beginning to receive telepathic transmissions. Yes, Earth's forests will recover and flourish forevermore. That is absolutely correct. The return of many forest animals and birds. You're absolutely right, Julie Ben. Good, thank you. I have enough. Appreciate it. Thank you. Is the Galactic Federation here? Well, yes, the positive galactics, now known as the Universal Federation, after the corrupt Federation was dismantled. Yes, they've pretty much always been here, guys. They have bases all over the planet in structures. Will we see those that have passed? This is a question from Unicorn Fishy 6526. Yes, we will. Yes, we will when we ascend to the 50th Earth. Did Tartarians really exist? Absolutely. In fact, according to the latest intel, Tartaria has been around for almost 2,000 years. The Roman Empire were the ones that erased them out of our history and kind of just took over some of their old buildings. Yes, CERN has been stopped by the Earth Alliance. That is correct. Ishmael, what do you know about the eighth sphere? It seems to be a place where absolute destruction happens. Well, the eighth sphere is also what the esoteric knowledge calls the lower astral plane, where the archon energies, entities, the dark shadow beings, the Draco exist in. So, according to Rudolf Steiner, they call it the eighth sphere. And the eighth sphere is also the realm in which the pre-existing consciousness, the ghost in the machine, operates what we call negative AI or the Antichrist. Good question. Thank you so much, Susan, for your super chat. Old, the 12 gates are secured now. You mean are the 12 gates secure now? Well, with the you could say recuperation of the 10th gate in Iran, the Abaddon gate, and the 12th gate in Greenland, it is believed, yes, all 12 gates have now been restored to the Alliance. That is right. The eighth sphere, lower astral realm, is ruled by the Ahriman, the Antichrist. Ishmael, I'm having trouble understanding when people speak. I feel like I am in a different frequency. What does that mean? Well, not everybody's on the same frequency. You know, to give you guys an example, the awakened, us, we exist in a different reality than the normies or those that are still drinking the Kool-Aid. Okay. So that explains why, people misunderstand you, or, there's a conflict of realities taking place between the awakened and those that are not awakened. It's almost like we are bifurcating into different timelines already. Do you think that we will have technology released soon? Technologies of light? Yes, in the positive ascending timeline. Absolutely. Have you ever met Commander Valiant Thor? Well, I would say 98.9 of my transmissions come from Commander Valiant Thor. So, yes, I know him very, very personally. Would he ever do an interview on your show? Well, that would be a conflict of dimensions because he operates in the sixth dimension and above. So unless we all ascend to the sixth dimension, it would be impossible to have him physically on my show. But that would be a good show, huh? Thank you, Ishmael. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. So many good questions tonight. And yes, we are doing good with time. We still have about 25 minutes left. Thank you, Ishmael. That explains why I have had a hard time communicating with people. There's a conflict of realities that is taking place right now. Absolutely. What happens to all the garbage and microplastics around the planet? All the contamination, it becomes dissolved as if it was never there. See, what's happening is when we ascend, it's not like we are leaving the earth. We're just translating to a different version of the earth that was never contaminated, that was never exploited, that was never industrialized. Didn't Valiant Thor stay at the White House and met with President Eisenhower? Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, he lived in the White House for a while. And so, yeah, Valiant Thor did materialize a human vessel in order to interact with Eisenhower, 1954. Will dissolution occur of the building structures on Earth's surface? No, we're just translating into a higher vibrational Earth reality that looks a little different. It looks a lot different, actually. Ron is asking me what I know about the eighth sphere. Well, I've already mentioned it. Is the lower astral realm where all the dark entities reside, and that's what AI is doing. They're trying to build AI so that the entities from the eighth sphere could materialize through the machine, the ghosts within the machine. Thanks, Ishmael, for your work. Can you speak to the significance of Mount Shasta? Mount Shasta is existing right above Telos, which is an underground advanced civilization in Northern California, or I guess Oregon, right? Right above Northern California. A lot of the Lemurian survivors actually entered the inner Earth through Mount Shasta. There are different portals and entry points to the inner Earth Telos civilization in Mount Shasta. So it is a sacred place. Did you have knowledge of all of this when you were a child? Up until the age of 4. And then I had a bad incident that caused me to suppress everything, my abilities, what I knew. Um, yeah. Yes, we do live in homes in the fourth and 5D Earth. That is correct. Why do I see an alien every time I close my eyes? Well, maybe every time you close your eyes, you are piercing through the veil. Again, the eighth sphere is where all the shadow entities, the dark entities reside. That's where they were. Um, that's where they were thrown into. It's like the lower astro realm. Ishmael, what reassurance do you have or validity that the transmissions you receive are not demons? That's a very good question because of the fact that I have discernment. It took me many years to reach the state of consciousness that I am in right now. And so, whenever I receive transmissions, I always invoke protection. And of course, I shut access to all demonic forces. And then I activate my chakras, which allows me to access galactic information. So that's how I do it. But first, I have to shut myself from demonic forces, negative entities, protect myself. And then, most importantly, I do it from the heart center. So I activate the heart center right before I receive transmissions. According to cosmic law, negative entities cannot intervene if your heart center is open. Once you are operating from the heart, it is impossible for them to intervene. Right now, I don't know if Folium is in stock. I forgot to mention, guys. As you know, it's always important to order it when it is in stock because there is a high demand for this product. And again, I always put the link in the transcription or in the description, I'm sorry, and then I pin it in the comments at the end of the live. That is true. Energies don't lie. One of the, again, a quick technique to discern the different entities is that if you feel it in your heart, if you're getting a transmission, or intuitive download, if you feel it in your heart, then it's coming from the light. If you feel it in the pit of your stomach, then completely shut the communication because that's coming from the dark. So there are ways of discerning the difference. Absolutely. um, I'm actually going to use the restroom, and I don't want to end the live just because of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and excuse myself. So I'm going to go ahead and excuse myself for about 2 minutes. Sorry about that. Oh, I don't know if it's working. I can't figure this out. Can you help me? What? What did you say? I don't know what you said. I'm just going to use it. What did you say? You can hear me? Oh, I didn't know. I thought I muted myself. All right, I am back, everyone. Apparently, my sign does not work. I gotta be careful. I just hit my cranium. Yeah, this is a pretty cool sign that was created by Randy, one of the Galactic Jedi's. Big shout out to Randy. Thank you so much. I'm trying to make use of this sign, but for whatever reason, I can't seem to hold it straight. But wouldn't that be cool, huh? If I have to like excuse myself for a minute. I guess this is how I would look like as a cartoon character. It's pretty funny. Does kind of look like me, huh? I'll put this back here for now. Anyways, all right, guys, let's continue here with Q&A. I hope you guys were okay with me using the restroom for the last 2 minutes, but when you got to go, you got to go. All right, next question. Yes, I know. I do have a good stand. I just don't know how to use it. It came with the stand, guys. So I have to figure that out. Maybe on the next show, I'll figure that out. Hopefully it works. Ishmael, have you heard of an inner earth Tellusian female named Sharula, jokes under Mount Chesta? No, I've never heard of her. Take a photo of the sign and upload it to your computer. I don't know how to do that. I am not tech savvy, guys. All right, cool. Good to know. You need a galactic stand, says Julie Ben. Well, I just need to know how to figure it out, how to use it. Will 50 require bathroom breaks? I don't think so. No. In the 50, we are in our fifth dimensional avatar. We don't need to use the restroom. That's right. I am raw and real. You guys get me as I am. No filter. Was King Solomon like 12,000 years ago? No, he was like more like 6,000 years ago. Oh, yeah. How are you guys doing out on the East Coast? Are you guys being affected by this weather? Because the Galactics are mitigating it. So it's not going to be like catastrophic as the news portrayed it. You know, the news is always trying to spin things in a way where it's like they want to put people in fear. So if you guys are in the East Coast, let me know in the comments, how are things going over there? You know, apparently you guys haven't lost internet, right? You guys are watching my show. You guys still have power, right? You guys are not buried under ice. So are you guys doing okay in the East Coast? Okay. Wolf Mother says it's fucking freezing. Okay. Snowing. Okay. Snowing. Not yet in South Pennsylvania. Missouri is at 5 degrees. Oh, that's pretty cool. No snow yet. No snow yet. Okay. That's probably going to be coming in tomorrow then. Part of Australia are going to boiling at 45 degrees Celsius. Huh. Okay. 12 degrees now. No snow. And is it Manchester? New Jersey, slight snow or slight sleet show. Freezing in New Jersey. Okay. I do have a super chat from Kayla Rosin. Thank you, Kayla Rosin. What would a transition to natural Earth look like? Would we be able to live on the Earth's surface? Yeah, but bear in mind that the natural resources of the Earth, including all of those extinct animals, minus the dinosaurs, and some of the dinosaurs were actually relocated to the inner Earth. The good ones, not the carnivore ones, the ones that are living in harmony with the rest of the beings. But yeah, it's going to be, we're going to have great variety of animals once again, colorful trees, plants. Yeah, the earth is going to be once again fully restored back to its original ecology. So the natural earth will be a true Garden of Eden once again. 18 degrees in Niagara Falls. Oh my gosh. Wow. 71 degrees where? Fort Myers. Okay. Lots of rain in Louisiana. There was a slight rain in Sedona. Not much though. Light snow in Virginia Beach. Okay. 37 degrees in South Texas, but no freeze. Well, thank you guys for letting me know that you guys are okay. I'm looking for questions now. If you guys have questions, I hope to have answers. We have about 8 minutes left in the chat. Is Earth on planetary evacuation standby by the New Jerusalem as all 31 volcanoes go active? No. Yeah, the Galactics wouldn't allow for cataclysm this time. They have all agreed that we will have a smooth and steady transition into the new Earth. So no, there's not going to be any catastrophes, at least not in the positive timeline. Were the Tartarians breatharians? Yes, they were. I heard that they didn't even use restrooms. Is that correct? That is correct, actually. Some of them did. There was different types of coexisting humans during those days, very similar to the Atlanteans. Cold in New York, I would assume. Yeah, New York is always cold around this time. There will be no evacuation. That is correct. That timeline was canceled. I think back in 1999, 2005, um, based on the trajectory due to some projected cataclysms, the Galactics were going to execute a mass evacuation similar to Noah's Ark. But they were able to change the timelines, and now there will be no evacuation because there will be no cataclysms. Oh, yes, I heard about the mass shooting in Minnesota. That is so sad. So we hold space for all the innocent souls. All right, 5 more minutes of Q&A. I do also want to welcome all my new subscribers. By the way, I am the author of those two amazing books behind me, The Secret Government and Our Cosmic Origin, guys. For those that are new to my channel, it's probably a prerequisite to even read my book so that you guys could understand a lot of the stuff that I've been talking about. And not to mention, those are two great books to read that'll help you understand what really took place in the last 6,000 years, how the Alliance has always been around, and also the greater cosmic and galactic connection to this unfolding drama that is now happening at this time. Mm, let's see. All right, I'll take two more questions. Two more questions. Is President Trump aware of all this information? Yes, as to why he's annexing Greenland. He wants to have access to the North Gate. And of course, the alliance is going to begin preliminary stages into making contact with the inner Earth societies through through the Northern Stargate. And Trump, the real Trump, has cosmic level clearance. In fact, he does interact with positive galactics, so he's very well aware of the alliance, the Galactic Federation, and all that. Your books are amazing. Thanks. That's how I found you. You are so welcome, Mysticanas. I appreciate that, sister. One more question, guys. One more question. We do have a super chat from Hope is Real. Thank you so much, sister. She says, Ishmael, there is a purple glowing light outside my house in the sky with a beam coming down. Has been there for the last 3 nights. The is dark cloud right above it. That could be a craft. That could be an ET craft. Sounds like it could be an ET craft. Perhaps that is your galactic family protecting you. Yes, the Telosians did go into the underground 100 years prior to the flood. That is correct. 20 2,500. Now there are 1.5 million Telosians. Well, I didn't know the exact number. I knew that there was over 1 million Telosians underneath Mount Shasta. Wow. So their population is increasing. That's awesome. Yeah, sounds like a craft. To answer Hope Israel's question, yeah, it definitely sounds like a craft, that is for sure. All right, guys. Just remember, guys, that I only have one position or one spot left and two spots for my Ascension Basics and Ascension 2.0 classes tomorrow for only $100, guys. I will see you guys on a webinar at 12 noon or at 3 afternoon Pacific time. You pick the class. With that have said, I will see you guys Monday for an Alliance Y Hat update. I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening, and may the God Force be with you all always.